Hi guys, let's go over the big ideas from the Sink or Float lab.
In your lab, you had to calculate the mass and volume of certain objects and then calculate the density. So you used a scale to find the mass of the objects, and the units we're going to use are grams. So the mass of the golf ball was 45 grams. And when we did water displacement, we found that its volume was 41 cubic centimeters. And the ping pong ball's mass was 3 grams on the scale, and with water displacement, the ping pong ball's volume was 34 cubic centimeters. When you use the calculator, you put the mass in first, divided by the volume, and the density of the golf ball was 1.09, and we're going to round to 1.1 grams per cubic centimeter. And then when we do 3 divided by 34 for the ping pong ball, we found that the answer was 0.08, and we're going to round that to 0.1 grams per cubic centimeter. It's okay to have a decimal. That just means that it is a very small density. Remember, you can infer something about an object's density if it floats or sinks in water because you know the density of water is 1 gram per milliliter. So, objects that float have a density less than 1 gram per cubic centimeter. Just like we saw in the ping pong ball example above, it was a decimal for the density. That means it's less than 1 gram per cubic centimeter. That means that it is light for its size. It has a smaller mass number and a bigger volume number. Objects that sink have a density greater than 1 gram per cubic centimeter. That means they're heavy for their size and they have a bigger mass number and a smaller volume number.
So you can infer somebody's density just by watching what they do when you put them in water. So I'm going to put in the cannonball. It's got to have a density greater than 1 gram per cubic centimeter. Dice, density greater than 1 gram per cubic centimeter. How about this piece of wood? Oh, it's floating right at the surface. It's got to be less than 1 gram per cubic centimeter. How about a matchbox car? What's it going to do? You know its density has got to be greater than 1. A metal bolt, greater than 1. Plastic dinosaur, ooh, less than 1 gram per cubic centimeter. What else we have? We know the golf ball is going to sink. It's got a greater mass number than its volume, and the ping pong ball has a smaller mass than its volume number.
You can also infer whether something will sink or float just by looking at the equation. So for example, something that was 2 grams in 1 cubic centimeter has a bigger mass number on top than its volume on the bottom, so you know it's going to sink. Something that has a smaller mass than its volume number, 5 is smaller than 15, that one's going to float if you put it in water. How about this one, 150 over 25? That one is definitely going to sink and fast. How about this one, 500 and 500? Those are the same, so it's probably going to float on top of the water, half above and half below.
So you'll just remember that density is a comparison of an object's mass to its volume. It describes how heavy something is for its size. If it's got a bigger mass number than its volume number, it's heavy for its size and it'll sink in water. If it's got a smaller mass number than its volume number, it's going to feel light for its size and it'll float in water. And this concept will come back over and over again throughout the year. So if you're still a little shaky on it, don't worry, we will keep reviewing.